Welcome to the final Worst of the Riot Best of 2023 edition of the podcast. The next podcast you hear will be new clips, brand new, recorded on January 2nd. Today's show, recorded throughout 2023, lets you know why you should definitely have a beard. Also, one of my most controversial opinions that people are on my side for, and Isaiah's wrong. And we talk about how long your first date should be.
We also talk about some movies that scared you as a child.
Oh, that was good.
And the sexiest man alive.
Yeah. Enjoy.
We'll catch you guys soon.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
Isaiah, how long should a first date be?
It's a good question. It's all about, like, the feel, the vibe. But you ride that sucker out. You ride it out.
So you're saying the longer the better. If everybody's having a good time,
yep.
Don't put a time limit on it.
100%, yeah.
I have here a relationship expert who says you're all wrong. This is dating and relationship coach Kate DeRocher, who says that you should always attempt to keep your first dates under 2 hours. 2 hours is like the sweet spot. Would you like to know why?
She can continue, though.
Yeah, she says that while longer dates that might seem fun and romantic, it can lead to early attachment and obsession with someone that you only have just met. Additionally, it could distract you from any potential red flags that might come up along the way, which is why you might want to, instead of having all that, just extending that first date out, you might want to put a cap on it and come back to it in a few days, see if you're still having so much fun.
So she's saying maybe it'll go too good.
Yeah.
If it extends out. She's saying shorten it to protect yourself.
Right.
Got it.
Because you don't want to... You
don't want to find love.
You want to make... I think she's saying you want to make sure you're thinking straight. You know? Once you're going for 2 hours and there's no end in sight, then you might think, I mean, you're having a good time, of course. If both people still want to hang out with each other for more than 2 hours, it seems all well and good, but there might come a point where, like, maybe your emotion overcomes your sensible side, is how I understand it. And so some of the things that you shouldn't overlook in the other person, you might, because you just get enthralled to obsessed all up front. I can see that side of things.
It's an interesting concept. I think at the same time, if you're falling in love on the first date, that's probably some inner things that you need to figure out on your own before you go on a first date.
Yeah.
If the girl's in love with me after the first date, then that's a red flag as it is. So I think that, if you think that that's a possibility for you, maybe you just hold off a little bit longer.
It could be. I'll tell you, though, Isaiah, that not only does Kate DeRocher, dating and relationship coach, think you need to keep things 2 hours or so, but so does America. Because according to a recent poll conducted by Canada Drive for some reason, the average first date is supposed to be less than 3 hours, is what the average American says.
I would say between the 2 and 3 hour mark is usually pretty good, depending on what you're doing. It just all depends on where you're at.
But you're saying never, if it's a first date, you never pull the plug if everybody's still having, if both sides don't want to pull the plug, keep it going. 2 hours.
Yeah, if it's still going good.
3 hours.
I think if you're under 2 hours, I think that's a wildly short date. Depending on what you're doing, unless you're getting coffee or something for a first date. If you're like going out together for dinner / like drinks or anything, and it doesn't go longer than 2 hours, was it even worth everybody's time?
Well, I mean, yeah.
If it's an hour long.
It depends what you're doing, but I don't think, I mean, you surely shouldn't plan. And again, unless, and we've talked about this before, unless it's somebody you already know, but if you're just meeting up from Bumble or something, you shouldn't plan a date to be 2-3 hours.
I think every time. I've only had, I think, one date that's ever been under 2 hours, and that's because I wanted it to end so fast. And I've went on a lot of dates, and they've all easily exceeded 2 hours. Easily. But I guess if you don't have much to talk about, then maybe it'll be closer to 1.
Yeah, maybe. I'll tell you, it's funny you mentioned the most popular first date option, according to this survey, once again, conducted by Canada Dry, the ginger ale, they said coffee date.
That's why nobody ever gets together.
The good news is the Riot is on vacation now. The bad news is that doesn't mean you get a break from them. This is the Riot's worst of 2023.
Isaiah, you saving for retirement?
I am.
Good for you.
You have to.
Yeah, it's important.
And the earlier you start saving, the better off you'll be in the end.
That's right. The more money you'll have.
The compound interest, baby.
That's the wise thing to do. But I have some new research here that says that people are just finding it more and more difficult to be able to save for retirement, to put things away from retirement. I've got what it says, only 53% of Americans are currently saving for retirement at the moment. So that's not, or 57%. I want to mince up the numbers there. 57% are saving for retirement. That means a lot of people aren't. But part of the problem is that typically, like when you're talking about saving, one of the things you hear a lot is the 5-year plan, right? You got to have a 5-year plan of where you want to be financially. But Americans have turned away from that because they don't think it's reasonable, realistic anymore. And so now people are more leaning towards, and this is across all generations from Gen Z to baby boomers, talking about a 12-year plan.
That's a big plan.
Yeah, that's
a long plan.
That's long term.
That's some big thinking there.
Yeah. Where will I be 12 years from now? Who knows?
12 years. I'm trying to figure out how old I'll even be. Okay, got it. 12 years.
Things will be different. I don't know how you can plan 12 years in the future.
12 years is a long time. I'd be like 37 in 12 years.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that could possibly have to hold for me.
Yeah, you can't plan 12 years ahead. You could be going through a midlife crisis.
I may not even be alive in 12 years.
Yeah, who knows the way you live. But the reason that people are saying that that the 5-year plan is not realistic, that you can't actually put enough away to make 5 years of savings realistic, is obviously household expenses are higher, inflation is higher, and this makes sense too, paying off school loans, paying off your debts.
Those are starting back up, everybody.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah, get ready. Get ready for that. So
October 1.
It's not going to make it any easier for people to be able to put stuff away for the future. And I get it. I get it. I can't, thinking about retirement, trying to put away money for retirement is difficult. I can barely put away money for next week.
But you got to do it.
You got to do it.
You got to commit to it.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
If you put $300 towards it, $200, $150, whatever you can put towards it. If you do a little bit at a time, it does add up.
A little goes a long way.
But if you have zeros in there, zeros do not compound.
Yeah.
Zeros do not get any bigger on their own.
What's a good interest rate, would you say?
The average is 8%.
Yeah. 8% of zero, you know what it is?
Zero, baby.
0.0.
So, yeah, you just got to toss something in there. And it'll just slowly build on itself. Mm-hmm. The earlier you do it, the better. But you got to do it.
And your older you will thank you.
Yeah, they
will. Yeah. So get to saving.
This isn't the worst thing anyone did this year, but it is the worst thing that anyone did on The Riot. 2023's Worst of the Riot.
It is The Riot on RadioU. We're ready to food fight here. We have White Castle's new French toast sliders, their latest addition to the all-day breakfast menu. Now, we were hyping up White Castle in the service, but then we just realized that, Isaiah, you didn't get the sandwich you ordered.
Not even close. I asked for a sausage, egg, because I'm not a big fan of the cheese. So I said no cheese. They give me cheese, they give me no egg.
That's an egregious mistake. That's a way different sandwich.
A sausage, cheese.
But fortunately, we had the bonus sandwich that we didn't actually intend to ask for. So have you doctored it up and you actually have what you were hoping for?
Now, yes, because they gave us that extra sandwich we didn't order. They gave us that egg and cheese. So now I've got a sausage, egg, French toast slider
Perfect.
Like they intended.
And I have a bacon, egg, and cheese French toast slider. They, according to their website, this is sweet and savory with a cinnamon swirl. And they did provide even, they provided maple syrup to
I
go
asked
with
for
it.
that.
Oh,
Yep.
you asked for it.
Yes.
So you have some over there for yourself.
Of course I do.
All right, perfect. I'm going to go one bite, no maple syrup, and then we'll see. We'll see how that improves things. But the bacon, I mean, it's flopping all over the place. I don't know if it's a lot of bacon or if it's just big, long strips that can't be contained by the little French toast bun. Nope, I dropped bacon on the computer. Not bad. The bacon tastes good.
With syrup, way better.
Better with syrup, eh?
Way better.
Let me test that out. The syrup is an improvement, but I think it was good without the syrup.
It's good without the syrup, yeah. I agree. I prefer it all breakfast with syrup. If I can put syrup on everything in a breakfast, I will. Sausage, bacon, obviously waffles, pancakes, French toast.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer syrup with it all. But overall, this is really good. The egg is really good.
It's so. Don't you think it's just so easy to do breakfast? It's remarkable that any fast food place can mess it up. In fact, I don't know that many do. This is a good breakfast sandwich. I'm happy to start my day this way.
This breakfast sandwich, you ready for something crazy?
Yeah. Oh, you got something?
This is better than every McDonald's breakfast sandwich.
Oh, why do you say that?
It just tastes better.
I feel like it tastes, I would say it tastes more real or more homemade.
It does because the McGriddle is so fake.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
McGriddle is trash. Like I used to get McGriddles every time I went for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my go-to order, is a McGriddle. And this is just like a better McGriddle. And the egg is way better too.
Yeah, I don't know if
The French toast just is actual French toast.
Yeah.
Like you can tell by looking at it that it's French toast.
You think one of the chefs at 3 a.m. was really, can you even call them that? Whatever, one of the White Castlers. You think they were really cooking up French toast, or do you think they just pulled a loaf of French toast out of the freezer and thawed it out?
I don't know, but either way, it tastes good. And this is sitting. I got this probably 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So I'm sure
now.
if I ate it right when I got it, it probably would have been even better.
I think it's hard to disagree. It would be good to have a side by side to really see like truly versus the standard McDonald's McGriddles, which one would be better. But it is hard to disagree. I do enjoy this, and it really does taste like the style you would make at home, which is a compliment. It doesn't feel like a fake egg or, whatever.
Yeah, for me, I'm taking this yet again. I mean, this compared to a McGriddle, and yet again, a McGriddle was my go-to at McDonald's for a long time. This destroys it. It's not even close. I mean, it's legitimately not even close.
That's controversial. Who knew you liked White Castle so much?
I never even had a White Castle breakfast. I haven't had White Castle in years. I don't even know the last. I can't even think of a time that I've ever even had it.
This is it's available all day too. So now you have a reason to go.
It's better breakfast than McDonald's already. Look at that.
2024 can't get here soon enough. 2023's Worst of the Riot.
I have a list here if you're looking for a date idea. Again, maybe a little late in the game if you're planning tonight your date. It's probably too late. But, the weekend's coming up. You could do a nice Valentine's weekend date. So this is the top date activity that's been Googled in each state that's unique to each state, okay?
I like Michigan. Nothing says love like Michigan's.
All right, so throw out some states. I'll let you know what their top date search was over the past month. But Nikki started with Michigan axe throwing.
That's nice. A lot of people like it.
Yeah, you ever been?
No.
Not on a date or otherwise?
Not officially. I mean, have I wielded an axe?
Have I thrown an axe?
Have you thrown it?
I have.
Yeah.
But the old-fashioned way,
That's
outside
right.
of the tree.
In a field. Without
you don't know
paying
that's
prices.
not how it is. Yeah. All right, next state. Who's got one?
Let's go Ohio.
Ohio restaurant.
Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be unique.
Hey-o.
I think nothing captures Ohio like the top search being restaurant date.
Let's go. We were talking Texas. How about Texas?
Texas is drive-in theater.
Oh, do you guys have a lot of movie drive-in theaters in Texas?
That's still more of a southern thing, right?
Probably because of weather.
There's I've never been to a drive-in ever.
You've not?
I've
No.
never too.
It's a good date. It's a lot of
Really?
fun.
I thought
yeah.
it was always there's more crime at the
drive-in?
At the drive-in?
Maybe
I
the
don't know
drive-ins
about
we're
that.
going
I
to.
think there's more canoodling at drive-ins.
Oh, that's why
Remember we
Hudson's
talked
going.
about-
What do
Sitting
you
in the
think
back
Hudson's
row
going
of
to be
the
at
theater.
tonight?
Yeah, if your guy wants to take you to a drive-in theater, that might be a sign.
Hudson's going to the drive-in theater. I'm going to Arizona's, I think.
Arizona.
I would love that, but what a unique. It's a date activity. So in Arizona, they picked Japanese Friendship Garden.
For friends.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Oh, do you think
A
that's
lot of
like,
friends.
That's a sign.
is
a lot
that a
of
friend
friends.
zone
This
thing? If
isn't-
they
For
take
sure.
you?
This isn't people looking up, should I take somebody on a Japanese friendship garden date? It's Japanese friendship date, friendship garden, meaning.
Yeah. That is. It's meaning.
Well, how about we go
Friendship
with
Garden.
Nevada? That's fun.
Nevada, go-karts.
That's cool.
A
That's
few
a
other
good
states had
date.
go-karts.
That's fun.
Wait, did you guys see Idaho?
Idaho. What? Oh,
Idaho.
The Rage Room.
Rage Room.
That's
I've
fun.
seen those.
What is is that where you like
You go
smash
in-
stuff, like
Smash
Office
stuff.
Space style?
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
go smash dishes or like beat things up.
That could be real good or real bad.
Gosh, I
depending
don't
on
remember.
who
What's the
invited you to
state
do
above
that.
Idaho? Is that Montana?
Montana.
Frozen yogurt.
Froyo, really?
Lame.
That feels very safe.
And what
Nice.
is so I see that a couple states have sip and paint.
Is that like
Is that
It's like
painting?
wine. Yeah,
you do wine and you paint.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like fun.
Does it?
Yeah, my mom just did that a couple days ago.
Did she?
She did,
I
yeah.
love that.
Any others on the list that
Your
catch your
mom comes
eye?
home wasted with a picture.
She said, look what I painted. I'm like,
Does it look good?
is that what it was supposed to look like? What about
You have to talk to your mom.
Yeah.
what about Virginia?
Virginia
I'm against
and Kentucky are both museum.
Against museum.
Yeah.
heavily.
Yeah. Well, that gives you time to contemplate.
Now, it doesn't mean, it could be like, have you been to a Ripley's?
Yeah, I
Yeah, there's
guess
different
that's
kinds of
different.
museums.
I guess that's different.
And a lot of museums are free, so that's a good cheap option to get started
California
out.
has mini golf. Let's see, a couple others are just the spa, aquarium, a bookstore. Oh,
Where are you guys headed tonight?
a bookstore. Actually,
The
that was-
bookstore?
Now wait, that was popular for a while. Like if your special someone is all into books, you go let them pick out a ton of them.
Lame.
I saw this guy's TikTok. He loves them, so he could go and pick out as many as he could carry, and then she bought them for him.
Wow.
That's wild. If a girl was like, "You want to go to the bookstore?" I'd be like, "I don't think this is gonna work." I'm gonna tell you right
Knock
now.
yourself out.
You seem a little bit too intellectual. Not for me.
Have you heard of a Japanese friendship?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
More my speed.
What about cooking class? That's a few states.
That could be
That's
fun.
fun.
That sounds like that doesn't feel like a first date though, does it?
That's a couple in.
Yeah.
But I feel like
you
if
gotta
you're
be careful.
going out on Valentine's Day, it shouldn't be a first date.
No, maybe not. Maybe not.
You
But
got
I hope
escape
not.
rooms.
A few arcades popping up on
bowling.
there.
Arcade's fun.
Spa.
Spa. That could be
Now I can get in
Ah.
on that.
I think that's all of them. A comedy show. Wisconsin had that.
All right. Well, I think we've thrown out a
think that's
lot
'cause
of
you guys
options
have-
for you.
You have to be indoors more.
Yeah, that's right. I think we've given you a lot of options for not just for tonight, but planning ahead. Putt-putt also came up. We didn't mention that. So.
We forgot Alaska dinner theater.
Ooh. I didn't know they had those there.
They do.
All right. Well, you've got plenty. Don't say that you don't have any date ideas now. We've thrown out every single one there is.
If anybody's doing anything fun tonight, just text us and take us along.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't want this clip played again, but Hudson and Isaiah aren't most people. The Riot's worst of 2023.
You know what else is coming soon? No Shave November. It's only 2 months away.
We are getting close.
We're getting close, and if you wanna get a head start, this is a great time to grow a beard, wouldn't you say?
What's today?
September 7th.
I would say if you want to run it into No Shave November,
Mm-hmm.
your best bet is probably starting early October. Giving yourself
Okay.
a month in advance, depending on how much you struggle. If you struggle a little more, maybe a month and a half in advance.
Because you're saying, why would you suggest that?
Waiting a little bit to start it up?
Yeah.
Because by the end of November, you're going to look crazy. If you do no shave.
If you get the beard. Yeah, but if you get the beard going now and just have some beard instead of going from clean shaven on November 1st to the end of November, if you get something going now, you don't have to not shave until November.
It just depends on what you're going for.
Yeah.
Are you trying to show how masculine you are, which would be clean shaving November 1st and showing that you can quickly grow a beard and seeing how long it can get starting from 0? Or are you looking for just the grisliest look you've got?
Yeah.
Because then you might as well just start growing it right now and not shave until then.
To me, I think we're out of the summer. We're saying goodbye to summer. You don't have to say goodbye if you don't want to, but then again, if you want to say hello to fall is a great time to have a beard as the temperatures drop and you want your face to be nice and warm and just have it's a fall look, isn't it? It goes well with flannel and beanies and pumpkin spice lattes, scarves.
What, a beard?
Yeah.
I think we're stretching now.
I think that's the truth. And so, I mean, the truth is a beard looks great with anything. But I'm just saying, as you get into the fall, I think it's a real fall look, and more people are going to be sporting it. As someone with a beard, does that bother me? That some people are just going to come in and drop in like they've had a beard the whole time?
Like I did on you.
Yeah, you did do that. But I mean, everybody has to start sometime. I'm just happy. I'm a beard proponent. I just think the more people have beards, the better. So I
agree.
Whenever you start it, I don't want to get upset with you. And it's not just me that thinks everybody should have a beard. It's scientists as well. There are apparently several benefits to having a beard, and this is some new info that came out revolving around World Beard Day, which I don't know if you know, that's September 2nd. So it just happened a few days ago.
Oh, we missed it.
Yeah, we did. It was the weekend. But World Beard Day, some of the positives of having a beard is that people with beards tend to have more confidence.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm for that.
I mean, it's probably, in my case, unearned, but nevertheless, I'm a confident guy. Also, obviously, a sign of masculinity.
Makes sense.
So if you want to project that, which I need to do that somewhere.
Might as well be out of the beard.
I only have a few options, and so that's the one I've gone with. There are plenty of benefits to having a beard. Now, granted, is this coming from the beard lobby? Perhaps.
Probably.
But nevertheless, I think it's worthwhile.
Yeah, I'm pro beard now that I have one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pro if you'd like to try to grow one.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should try to grow it. Because if you haven't tried to grow it, what happened with me is I went from nothing ever, no facial hair, to full beard. Because I shaved every day. I didn't even know I could grow a beard. And then what happened, I tried to grow one, grew in full, as it should. And everybody loved it ever since.
That's right. That's right. You never know how your life could change if you just grow a beard.
And you're probably shocked that you probably can grow one, even if you've never grown one before.
You never know until you try. You don't know what you're missing out on until you at least give the beard a chance. And so the show as a whole, we are saying, get started on that beard. Go for it. Reach new heights. Accomplish new things.
Let this serve as inspiration to make better choices in the new year. The Riot's Worst of 2023.
Got a guy on Reddit, the old Am I the A-hole subreddit. This guy, he basically, he asked his girlfriend to shave her armpits. Now, I think a little context. I think this guy deserves to have the context shared before anybody rushes to judgment. He says, typically, she will go a while. She does shave her armpits occasionally, but she'll go a while, maybe every 2 to 3 months, she'll go ahead and shave them, particularly if it's a special occasion. And in this instance, they had a family event coming up, and he thought that would be a worthwhile special occasion for her to take out the old razor, the Venus, and give the armpits a shave. He asked her to do that, and she got offended. Is he in the wrong?
The internet backlashed on this man in a way that is wild to me.
Yeah, he's hated. He's hated on Reddit.
See, but my thought is I don't think it was a harmful request.
You don't think so?
I mean, some of the responses, she likes it, as she told you, and what's important is what she thinks about her body. Did she ask your opinion on if she should shave? No. Then she doesn't want it, so keep it to yourself. Are some of the comments?
Yeah.
Do you have airy armpits? Why does she have to shave hers? Things like that. But I think it's a fair request for him to ask. He's going to see his family.
Uh-huh.
And he's not saying that he likes it or dislikes it.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he's more worried about is, like, if his family's there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's worried about himself. Obviously, he doesn't care. It says that she shaves him every 1, 2, 3 months, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they're still together.
Yeah.
So clearly, he doesn't mind.
He says he probably would prefer them shaved, but it's not a big deal to him, I guess. He says, I don't have an issue with it most of the time, but I'm not used to it. I prefer she shaves, but he says she also shaves like her legs and everything. So it's just the armpits that she'll let get some tufts sprouting out.
Like, if I had a girlfriend and she asked me to do something different to get a haircut before a family event, or to trim my beard, or do something, I'd be like, fine, that's fine, whatever you want.
Definitely different.
You think that's different?
It's definitely different.
Then shaving your armpits is the same thing as shaving my face. What do you think? What do you think is someone's more connected to?
Well,
my beard or her armpit hair? What's the difference?
She's a girl.
I love my beard a lot more. I love my beard a lot more.
Here's the problem with it. Here's why, and some people got at this, that it's not that he asked her to shave. It's how he put it. Because one, it's for the family event, but he's not asking her to shave for her benefit. Since it's a family event with his family, he's asking her to shave for his benefit because he would feel embarrassed to see her out there with unshaved armpits. So that's problem number one. But problem number two is how he presented it. If he said, hey, heads up, my family might judge you a little bit, that's way different than saying, can you shave your armpits for this family event? If you said, hey, it's your choice, but I'm just saying my family probably gonna raise an eyebrow if they see you here in a tank top and unshaved armpits, that would be a much better way to present it. So is he an a-hole? I don't think. You're right that in a healthy relationship, I think the other person, either way, should be able to, point out. Like my wife to me all the time, hey, you're going to pop that pimple? You're going to get that whitehead before you go out? That's, I feel like that's in the same vein, but that's part of a healthy relationship. It's just how you present it, though. You don't want to go out there with a pimple on your face, do you? Versus you have to pop that pimple before we go anywhere. It's a little different.
I don't think it is. I think it's fine.
And you just got to accept, like, this is, if you hate the armpit thing so much, then that's it, huh? Like, why are you with her if it bothers you so much?
I don't think it bothers him. I think it's his family.
Then why is he asking?
Like, everybody's different around when it's just me and my partner versus when it's me, my partner, and her mom and dad. I'm not going to wear the same thing. When I go out with my friends, hang out with them, wear different clothing than I would wear when I hang out with her mom and dad. I look different. I act different. That's just how it goes. It's all about being presentable.
I mean, unless it's the first time, though, you should just know. If she can't, she should get a feel for what his family is like, unless it's the first couple times they've ever hung out. And then and then if you can't get a feel like that, if you still are misbehaving or acting, this is not misbehaving, but if you're acting just in a way that doesn't fit in with the family, maybe it's not going to work. You shouldn't have to, like, there's so
you shouldn't have to, like, shave your armpits. That's, like, too much to ask to keep everybody cool.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to.
Somehow, what you're about to hear is nowhere near as bad as Jim the dog's behavior this year. 2023's worst of the riot.
It's interesting when you're working that in most employer-employee relationships, at least one side is trying to, like, milk the other, juice the orange, if you could say, for everything they've got, Like, your employer is probably trying to get as much production out of you and still pay you the least that they possibly can, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And on the flip side, just about every employee, I don't know, I guess the idea is there's a model employee that just puts their head down and works all the time. But like you and me, Isaiah, we try to do as little work as possible while also getting paid as much as possible.
It's a winning attitude.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
That is the struggle when it comes to just about any employer-employee relationship, is both sides are trying to get the most out of the situation while also doing the least that they can possibly do. And so it's no wonder that, there's so many, the people are just unhappy at their jobs. There's so much butting heads and whatever. And so many relationships are like that. The only time, like a real healthy relationship, it's very difficult to come by in the working world. In like the dating world, even then it's hard to come by, where both sides are like happy to make the other person happy.
We're on the same team here.
Yeah. When you're happy, when your girlfriend is happy, that's when you know you have a good relationship, and vice versa. But that's very, very, very rare, because so often, we wind up being selfish. The other person winds up being selfish, and so on and so forth. But that's what's so amazing about a relationship with Jesus, is that he could not be more unselfish. He is not trying to juice the orange, to squeeze every little last bit of production of, just exploit you for everything he can get out of you, because Jesus doesn't need that. Jesus, like, you could give him absolutely nothing. He's still going to love you. He's still going to give you everything he has. That's actually a relationship that really, like, that doesn't even happen in real life, but it does with God. That's why a relationship with God is an important thing. It's worth looking into. It's worth finding out about. See what that's actually like. Start talking to God. See what a relationship can be like, where you don't have to worry that you're getting exploited, taken for a ride by the other person. Start talking to God. Find out what he can do for you. If you want to know more, check out RadioU.com/free gifts.
You're listening to the Riot's Worst of 2023.
I don't think I've ever done this. Voting is now open for the sexiest man alive, according to People. And you could have your say. You could cast your vote, I'm seeing here. I've never done this. Isaiah, you want to cast your vote for the sexiest man alive?
I don't think it's fair for me to put in my opinion.
Why do you say that?
I don't feel like this is really my thing. So for me, I think it's interesting to talk about. But I think this is more of a girl thing.
You can't.
Than for me to vote on it.
You can't.
Because it doesn't matter to me. So I wouldn't want them to take my vote into consideration if it's going to ruin somebody else's day.
You can't objectively.
I mean, I can tell you who's going to. I can tell you who's going to win.
You know?
Oh, I know.
Who do you think it's going to be?
See, when they look at some of the possible options, right?
Yeah.
Keanu's on here.
No way.
You didn't see him on there?
No, I mean, I see him.
I mean, I'm not saying he's going to.
There's no chance that Keanu is going to win.
I'm naming the options.
2023.
Keanu Reeves is on there.
Yep.
We also have Harry Styles, who's a front runner every year.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to do it.
Joe Burrow's on there. We all know he ain't winning recently.
Yeah.
Am I right? Or am I right? It's going to be Ryan Gosling.
You think Ryan Gosling?
He's on there as a possible candidate. That Barbie hype is going to shoot him straight to the top.
I don't think so, although he is a sexy man. But I think we can't forget, go back in time about, go back to February, I would say. Yeah, because it was around the Super Bowl. Think about how all enthralled we were with Pedro Pascal. You're telling me he's not going to win just because the Last of Us hasn't been on TV for a little while? Pedro Pascal is the sexiest man alive.
That's your pick?
Yeah. I mean, I love Ryan Gosling. I love Paul Rudd would be an excellent choice. He's won before, I believe.
He won like 2 years ago, so I think it's too soon for him.
Yeah, too soon to he can't repeat, so close. But Pedro Pascal may be the right choice. I'm looking through here. When you vote, you don't just type in who you think the sexiest man alive is, because obviously I'd type in myself. But what you do is they have it broken up into categories. I think there's a malfunction with the sound effects. But anyways, you go through the categories. I'm looking at, so I have the category here, sexiest musician. Okay, Harry Styles, understand why he's in. Bad Bunny, of course, very.
Bad Bunny.
He's your lookalike, so you should be proud of that. Future, sure. Tim McGraw. They're making sure the like grandmas still want to vote. It looks like having
Tim McGraw
giving the great grandmas an option to vote.
He's only
for
56. He looks good. They're trying to do a little bit of everything, you know?
Some of the other categories: sexiest blockbuster star, Keanu, of course. Chris Hemsworth, great choice. Michael B. Jordan, he's won before, right?
He has to have won before, right?
Is it winning? He's been awarded before. He's been named before. And then Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer.
Wow. He's really popular as of late.
He is, huh?
Yeah, on TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know if that feels like a more niche obsession.
Yeah, I've seen him on TikTok a lot. Chris Hemsworth won in 2014. We also had Michael B. Jordan just won in 2020. So I'm not seeing either of them running it back.
These categories are wild, too. Sexiest first-time dad.
Oh, who are our options?
Brooks Koepka, the
Okay.
golfer. Tom Hiddleston.
People love Tom Hiddleston, too.
Very sexy. Alexander Ludwig. And Daniel Radcliffe. Harry Potter himself. Yep. Who would have guessed back when he was playing Harry Potter that one day he could be up for sexiest first-time dad?
Jeez, if the Harry Potter fans have anything to say about it, we know who's gonna win.
A murderer's row of options there. Well, cast your votes. I know I am for sexiest man alive in all the categories.
Worst of the Riot 2023.
You might want to look up to the night sky tonight. I think it's always a romantic activity to look up at the stars with that special song. You know, put out a blanket.
Yeah, but we talked before, like in our area, I think we have too much light pollution.
No, you're just not looking up.
We just don't get
it's
enough.
Light pollution from your phone shining on your face.
Is that it?
Yeah. No,
because every time they tell us, oh, go outside and look out something, first off, they're like, go out real early.
Yeah.
And we barely get enough sleep as it is. And then you go out and look and you're not seeing the same thing.
No, you can see these because I've observed these the last few nights. And now what is going to happen? The sky's going to get even more romantic tonight because Jupiter and Venus are going to kiss.
Oh, because they'll look like they're closer together.
They're going to get right up on each other.
A little smoochy.
Yeah, and move on in, and they're going to touch.
I like the article. They're like, they're not really going to kiss. Like they put that in the article.
They're
like
thousands of miles away from each other in actuality.
They will seem like they're closer together.
Yeah, which will be cool to see. They're so bright. Have you noticed that if you look at nighttime like this? When we come in the morning, I don't think you can see them. But if you walk out of your house after sunset,
I'd have to go out tonight.
Yeah, but you should notice them. I mean, they're still going to be there. They're not going to disappear. They're just tonight. They'll be so close. But I think it's this direction.
Okay.
Which is
radio can't see that.
No,
but...
which direction is this in? Like west?
West, yeah.
West. Okay, if you look out to the west from wherever you are, you should be able to see them just normally. And they're Venus and Jupiter, very bright. You should see them for several nights, but they won't be so close, so intimate as they will be tonight.
So Venus and Jupiter are actually 400 million miles apart.
Mm-hmm.
A little space talk, guys. More than 4 times the distance that we are from the sun, but they'll look closer tonight, and it looks like they're
amazing.
kissing.
It just goes to remind you how no matter how far away you are from someone, you can still be in love.
And be in
you
love.
Can still have a connection. You can still have a connection and keep your relationship strong.
And you're right. They say right when the sunset happens tonight, that's when you should go out and look for it.
That's the time.
Yeah, you should not be getting up during the night or get up early tomorrow. You have to do it right after sunset.
Well, you and your special someone, just tell them, hey, let's go watch the sunset, and there'll be 2 kisses going on.
Aww,
if you know what I mean.
Whoever you invite out won't even notice something's going
because
on.
you'll be so busy kissing each other.
You won't notice these.
2023's Worst. The Riot. RadioU.
It's World Farm Animal Day. A University of British Columbia study found it would take the equivalent strength of how many people to actually push over a cow?
How did they study this? They just keep getting more people to push until it tipped over? Or
I would say so.
I'm
Probably
guess-
like the approximate weight of a cow, strength of a cow.
Yeah. I'm going to guess, and I have not anything to back this up. It's just a good number. I'm guessing 8.
The correct answer we're looking for, approximately 4.5 people.
4.5 people. So
Not just 4, not 5. 4.5 people.
How do you get the half person?
I don't know, but
Is that like a child or?
I'm not sure. But when you think about it too, like there's no way you're getting 4. Like that's 8 sets of hands.
Yeah.
You're trying to get on the cow. And I still don't think you're tipping it over.
So, I mean, you lived out on a farm. If anybody would have done this, it's you.
I've never tipped a cow.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people have.
I don't think anybody has. Let's do some rapid fire. There's 2 farm animals that don't have teeth on their upper jaw because they have a hard palate that helps them grind their food. Name one of these animals.
Chicken? No, you're not telling me chicken have teeth.
They don't have the hard palate that helps them grind their food. The goats and sheep have. That's why when you see them eating, they're always doing that weird side thing.
Yeah.
Because they're grinding.
That's one of the many weird things they do.
What farm animal is considered the 4th most intelligent animal after chimpanzees, dolphins, and elephants?
I believe that the answer is pig. Pigs are pretty
Correct.
smart. You know that.
What farm animal is waterproof?
Waterproof.
Waterproof. A special gland near their tail produces oil that spreads and covers their body.
Wow.
Makes them waterproof.
Like a beaver. Horse?
I was looking for a duck.
Oh.
Makes a lot more sense,
yeah.
huh? All right, a final question, the opposite. The fiber from this wonderful animal's fleece is prized for being stronger than mohair, finer than cashmere, smoother than silk, softer than cotton, and it's also fire resistant. What animal is this?
Sheep?
I was looking for the llama.
Oh, very nice.
That's your farm animal rapid fire.
Less common farm animal in the United States.
Yeah.
But gotta love the llamas. All right, useless knowledge. Some of that felt a little, dare I say, useful?
In a really interesting setting, it could be.
If you were on a farm.
Around the right group of people in the country.
If you were on a school field trip to a farm.
Yes.
That you could win some points with that.
The good news is the Riot is on vacation now. The bad news is that doesn't mean you get a break from them. This is the Riot's worst of 2023.
The dropping produce at the supermarket debate. You can text in at 8772 RadioU. D says that all the food is grown in the ground, and Daryl pointed that out as well. But you think about that, it doesn't mean, well, I mean, most food, the apples aren't. But that also means you think about how they're fertilized too. So anytime it's like shallots, onions, any of the root vegetables, the ground is the least of its worries. Which then it comes around to Lisa. Lisa said what I believe puts this all behind us. Lisa said, the floor is nothing compared to all the nasty hands that have probably touched that produce as well. Think about that apple that you bit into, and you don't know who's touched that, whether it's been on the ground or not.
That's why you're supposed to wash it.
You got to wash it.
But also, I get what Rick and Dayton is saying.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a fruit that bruises like an apple, you should buy it. Don't make someone else buy your mistake. That's fair.
He also said this is why people need to inspect their produce before putting it in their cart. Otherwise, you wind up with mistakes made by the Isaiahs of the world. Now, Rick, I don't like that. Don't single out Isaiah, because I would also make that mistake and put the apple back.
But I've never dropped fruit at the store.
I can't say that I have either. And I understand that maybe we should be a little more principled, and, if you dropped other certain foods and it ruined it, then you might feel obligated to buy it. With apples, there's a million other apples to choose from.
Susanna says if it's damaged, she'll buy it.
Susanna, very charitable. Making sure every apple gets taken care of.
See, I think it's just so tough. It depends on the fruit, too. An apple that bruises so easily. That's like the only one that if you dropped, you'd feel real bad about. Because you know it's just ruined. But then again, I've eaten apples that have had a bruise on it, and it's been fine. I've just eaten around it.
What does a bruise even mean? I don't even know what a bruise means. I don't even know how that truly affects it. It can always be used for something, right?
You can eat an entire apple around the bruise. Yeah. I've done it many a times.
I apologize to Rick, but I don't think that's going to convince. I don't think I'm going to be convinced to not. If I ever.
What if you dropped a glass pickle jar?
Oh, see, I know that. See, here's what I know.
Would, because of embarrassment, everybody would notice
something. I mean, obviously, everybody would notice, but I don't think that there's no employee there that's going to be like, "All right, now you need to buy it."
You're buying that.
It happens. It happens.
Oh, really? You're just saying no to that? I'm buying that out of pure embarrassment. You can sneakily put the apple back. Nobody notices. You can sneakily put the onion back. When you drop a pickle jar, I mean, boy, how do you get out of there?
How do you go about that? Do you grab another pickle jar?
I might just leave.
Scan it and then put it back, or
I might just leave the store. I might stop my shopping trip in general. Head home in shame of what I did that day.
What do? Do you go when you go to the checkout? Just say, "Hey, by the way, I also broke a pickle jar. Can you add that to my tab?"
Sure. Yeah, you're not doing that.
Yeah. How do you do that? I think they just say, "Don't worry about it."
You think you get arrested? You walk out?
It'd have to be a big pickle jar.
This isn't the worst thing anyone did this year, but it is the worst thing that anyone did on The Riot. 2023's Worst of the Riot.
Isaiah, I have a question for you. This is something I could probably easily Google, but I thought it'd be more interesting to ask you and the public in general about this. Last night, Zafira the dog started licking my feet. That's something I enjoy. Don't mind it at all. But she licked my feet, I kid you not, for probably half an hour. And so I want to know, is she okay? Like, should I be worried?
Because she's licking so much?
Because she's licking my feet. She had to have gotten all the nutrients that were there.
Which can't be very much.
In like 15 minutes, probably tops.
How long did you let your dog lick your feet for?
How long did I this time?
Yes.
As long as she wanted to.
Like an hour?
It was like 30 minutes. Continuous.
That's so long.
That's a really long time.
Says dogs may lick more frequently if they have increased anxiety or a health issue, such as an allergy, injury, or arthritis. But they would say anything. If I said...
Yeah.
If I asked any dog question...
Why did my dog pee inside one time?
Yes.
Which she also did,
it would
by
say
the way.
Probably have a UTI or something.
Yeah. No, anxiety makes sense, though, because we just went on vacation. We didn't get back until a few days ago, so maybe she's worried that I'm going to leave, and so she's been upset that I've been gone. Do you have any hair loss? No.
Skin redness?
No.
What about oozing anywhere on their body?
No oozing.
Unable to sleep or frequently awoken because of the urge to lick or chew?
As far as I know, no. She's always at night. Her behavior is unpredictable, but not chewing that I know of. Not licking my feet overnight.
Yeah, that seems like maybe you need to be the one to say, Zafira, enough.
Yeah, but
have you tried giving her a toy?
It doesn't bother me. In fact,
but then you're encouraging that behavior.
Well, I don't want to discourage it.
Seems like you should discourage it.
Why? What's wrong with it?
It's odd.
Especially if she's anxious, I want to calm her down.
But that's not the right way to calm her down.
Why not?
I think it's wrong and inappropriate.
I think it's a healthy way for her to ease her anguish.
You think your wife looks at you when you're doing that, and she's like, "Man, that's my husband."
She's thinking, "Why won't she lick my feet?" She legitimately was jealous. So yeah, that would be a reason for me to stop. And not that she didn't lick my wife's feet as well, but she didn't sit there and do it for half an hour.
See, I have guests over at my house pretty frequently.
Yeah.
So therefore, I could not allow my dog to do something like that. Because the time that I have a guest over and then he goes for the toe lick.
Yeah.
And I have to tell him no and he looks surprised. I don't want my guests to be like, is this a normal thing for you?
I understand that some people might bristle at that behavior at first, but surely once you give it a chance, you realize how therapeutic it is, not just for the dog, but for you.
See, I'm not even like a take my socks off around the house kind of guy. I've always got socks on.
If it licked your socks, if your dog licked your socks.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously your dog's not gonna lick your socks.
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
But yeah, I'm never barefoot in the house. I've got wood floors. Too chilly.
I like being barefoot.
Bet you do.
2024 can't get here soon enough. 2023's Worst of the Riot.
I have a state here that is coming for your pet's freedoms. And it's not a state you would be expecting to be chowing down. No, that's not the right.
Interesting verbiage.
It's not the state cracking down.
Cracking down
on your pet's freedoms. But
they're not eating them.
Listen to this. I'll put the state out there. It's Florida. And listen to what they want to do to your dog. They, in the state of Florida, have a bill pending that would ban your pup from sticking its head out the window of a moving vehicle.
Okay, so when you're driving.
When you are driving, your dog would not be allowed to stick its head or any other part of its body. Well, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't say driving. It just says out of a car window. So you're even at a stoplight, stop sign. You want your pup to get a chance to sniff its surroundings, taking the fresh air.
Yeah, but it's dangerous.
Nope, illegal.
Haven't you ever seen, I remember once at the big intersection down there near the mall, someone's dog jumped out their window.
Oh, yeah. It rolled down too far.
It was awful because, I mean, what are you going to do? They looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to catch
them. Roll up your window a little bit. It doesn't have to be down all the way.
But not all dogs can handle the window coming down.
No, well, because a couple bad dogs, we can't.
No, bad owners.
We are going to ruin it for all dogs.
This is also, they say, there's many other animal welfare topics that actually look good to do. Prohibiting cat declawing because that's not good for cats.
Sure.
Rabbit sales before Easter.
Oh, we can't do that.
We can't do that.
No, that's
restricting
bad.
When an animal could be tethered outside because, you know, some people just leave their dogs.
Okay, maybe.
All the time. So this is a big animal welfare bill that they're trying to put through.
Yeah.
And it includes the not having your dogs hang out the window when driving a moving vehicle.
What do you make of all this? You have a dog?
Yeah, Jim's pretty good. He'll put his head out the window, but he won't actually have it out the window, if that makes sense. Like, he'll get his nose close.
He's never made a run for it.
No, like, he won't even put his whole head out the window. It's like just the end of his nose out the window. And so he's pretty good about keeping his head and hands and feet and arms inside the vehicle at all times. But I know there are dogs that really poke it out there, which obviously is dangerous. They also, like, said in the article, too, that it's like a danger of, like, them getting hit by, like, rocks, dirt, dust, stuff like that, which I could see is dangerous. For me and my dog, it's not an issue because Jim is too big of a baby to put his head outside. But I can see for some dogs why it could be dangerous.
This is about the animals' welfare.
I think the animals' welfare goes way down if they can't have fun.
Well,
they're already cooped up in a house all day long.
We can't have fun either.
No, not when not when the man is getting involved, not when the state is cracking down on our freedoms.
This is about the transportation of dogs in cars. So it's including forbidding drivers from having a dog in their lap. Like, that is a smart thing.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
That's probably smart.
And this bill will also enforce rules for transporting dogs on the car's hood or the roof.
Well, you can't do that either.
Some people, so it actually has a lot of good animal welfare stuff.
Well, just because it has a lot of good doesn't mean that letting your dog stick out its head out the window should also be banned.
I've seen Jim have fun with his shadow. I think if we take away one fun thing, this won't be a big deal.
They say that it's really having your dog outside the window is could be damaged, mostly with the dog's ears, and then they do say your dog could fall out.
What evidence do they have of that?
The dog falling out?
Well,
remember I told you?
I think that's just like
I know
Common
dogs
sense.
can jump out of a car. How often does that happen?
I think it happens more often because if not, you have to. I mean, you should be having them on a leash so you could pull them back in, but then that just chokes the dog.
So you guys are in favor of this law.
It's not as bad as you're making it sound out to be.
I think it's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
I don't think it's that bad.
I think it's pretty bad. I think
See,
our
I
dogs
think-
should be allowed to.
Because for me,
They
I
don't
don't
have
even
much, I don't think.
Even if they have,
I don't
yet
think
again,
they have much.
My Jim's favorite toy is a piece of string. He can have fun with anything. He doesn't need to stick his head out the window.
He doesn't need the fresh air.
Well, okay. I think I can convince you guys.
Let's do it.
If you aren't able to roll down your window and let your dog stick its head out, you know what's going to happen to your window?
What?
Disgusting.
Oh, the snot nose.
Disgusting.
nose.
You
Is
can
that what you
nose
want?
it.
You
Is
can
that what
tell
you
a
want?
dog owner because of the snot nose prints all
Yeah.
over
Uh-huh.
theirs. Yours has it. Mine has
Yeah.
it. Like, it's crazy.
And there's
That's how
no
it
point in
goes.
even cleaning it because it'll just get that way again unless I never take my dog anywhere. And that's not fair to her. And neither is rolling up the windows all the time.
Well, fine. You be the one. A rock hits her eyes and she can't even see outside.
You're putting your
anymore.
dog. It's dangerous ownership.
I'll
You're a
take
bad
my
dog
chances.
owner.
I
Bad
will
dog
take
owner.
my chances.
Putting
And
And more
Zafira in
importantly,
danger.
Zafira will too. She's smart enough to make her own choices.
Most people wouldn't want this clip played again, but Hudson and Isaiah aren't most people. The Riot's worst of 2023.
Some old memories here. The question is, what's the first scary movie? How old were you when you got to watch your first scary movie? And what is the first scary movie that freaked you out when you were a child? I got Trent who texted in. He said he wanted to co-sign with you, Isaiah, that Gremlins was scary. And
was
also,
scary.
from around the same time frame, Ghostbusters. You remember?
Scary too.
You remember Ghostbusters?
Yeah,
Not-
I remember Ghostbusters.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is one thing, but it's like the dogs, the devil dogs. They're pretty scary in Ghostbusters. We also have Chad texting in that Pinocchio and Dumbo scared him. He was a kid.
Certain scenes, anyway. He
I'm
says.
trying to think. What was scary about Pinocchio and Dumbo?
There was scary parts.
In Pinocchio, the kids start turning into mules. That's kind of scary. A little bit, if you're like 4, maybe. Let's see. Stephanie says the original Poltergeist. Now, why were you watching Poltergeist when you were a child?
Yeah, that seems a bit aggressive for me.
She says it was especially scary when the paranormal researcher scratches his face off.
Well, that does
That
sound like
sounds
a-
horrible.
That sounds like a scary scene.
Sounds like something a child shouldn't see. Emily texted in the movie It with the clown.
Yeah.
And Misery, which is another Stephen King thing as well. Is that the one where James Caan is trapped, tied to the bed, and Kathy Bates breaks his knees and whatever?
I'm seeing after a serious car crash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rescued former nurse.
Yeah, yet again.
Claims to be his biggest fan.
Why
Never seen it.
Why? We don't have ages, but I don't know why you'd watch that if you're under the age
That
of
sounds scary
15.
too.
Yeah. Jason says Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, he has a good explanation of why he saw this. Is he was with his older brothers at a birthday party, and it was just on in the background.
Fair.
But it wasn't the background for him. It caught his attention.
It was the
Yeah.
the main character.
Is this your dad?
He always says this. I don't know why he always says this.
The Wizard of Oz and the Flying Monkeys come out.
He's talked about this many a times to me.
It's still stuck with him
You know,
all
on
this
the
time later.
on the survey, the top childhood villains, one of them was the Wicked Witch of the West at number 4. But oddly enough, the Flying Monkeys didn't make the list.
They didn't make the cut.
But this is clearly traumatic for him when he was a child.
Alex texted in, this is not a movie, but a show, which I understand why
This is good.
Courage the Cowardly Dog would upset you as a kid. I get it.
It was scary.
I get it. I'm sure if I thought about it, I could probably think of just as many cartoons that were like TV show cartoons that rubbed me the wrong way when I was a kid. But I also thought of this one too, and I never saw the movie. And without even seeing the movie, I was scared of this. Chucky.
Chucky, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's scary.
That is scary. But I don't even know why I was scared of it when I had never seen the movie. I didn't know what it was about, but I just, like, you go in the mall and you saw Chucky roaming around. I don't know what he was doing, but it scared me.
I like the
Scared me
ones
a
that
lot.
are like, that have no reason to be scary for you. Like one of mine.
Uh-huh.
How about Jumanji? When they get sucked in
I
the
was
beginning.
scared of Jumanji.
Everybody was scared of
Yeah,
Jumanji.
Jumanji was frightening.
That you get sucked into the game in the beginning. That was
Yeah.
scary.
And then he turns into a monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Jumanji, that is right. I was very afraid of Jumanji when I was a kid. And I was probably older than I should be afraid. Aaron also says, I saw Poltergeist at a Halloween party. Oh, that's the same Aaron. But she says she was 18 and still hated it.
That's about the time that I was a kid. How about this is another movie that freaked me out.
Okay.
What about the Luck of the Irish? Remember that one? It was a basketball movie. It was like a Disney movie.
On the Disney Channel. What scared you about that?
I don't know. That little leprechaun in that movie freaked me out.
That's very niche. I remember liking that movie a lot, actually. His dad, or what his grandfather worked at a potato chip company or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Nicole says my brother was so scared of the flying monkey. But she also says she agrees that Gremlins was scary. Gremlins was a scary movie.
Maybe I just saw Gremlins when I was old enough to handle it.
Gremlins was a scary movie at the time for me. That freaked me out.
And never again for you?
Never again.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to watch it again here in a couple months. It's one of the Christmas staples for me. Well, hopefully we haven't upset anybody too much today.
Yeah. Let this serve as inspiration to make better choices in the new year. The Riot's Worst of 2023.
I have this is interesting right here. A list of the top things that make people uncomfortable. And it's wild to see the gap between men and women for so many of these. But I will tell you that the number one thing that makes both men and women both uncomfortable, it's the same thing.
What is it?
Being naked in a same gender changing room.
That doesn't happen very often, I don't think.
It doesn't?
No.
Like at the gym? I guess it's the only place that would really take place, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I guess for people, it's a good thing that is not something that happens very commonly because it makes so many people upset. But this is interesting. Who would you think is more upset? Would be more uncomfortable by that, men or women? If you had to guess,
probably men.
Shockingly, no.
Really?
49% of men are uncomfortable being naked in a changing room, whereas 67% of women are uncomfortable being in a changing room naked.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought women were hyping each other up.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what goes down.
The ladies are a little more accepting of the body.
Yeah, apparently not. I don't know what happens in women's changing rooms, but the ladies are not comfortable around each other. But for men, it's actually a 50-50 shot whether you're comfortable being naked. For example, Isaiah, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm very comfortable being naked.
I'm in the same boat.
Oh, okay. So we're not split at all. I'm barely clothed right now.
I mean, I go to the gym every day and shower at the gym. So for me, I know that people aren't paying attention, so it doesn't really bother me too much.
Right.
Everybody feels the same uncomfortableness in there, and nobody wants it to last any longer than it has to.
Yeah.
So for that reason alone, I don't get too worked up about it.
There's always one weird guy, but that's always I also think about.
I don't like to think about that guy.
No, but I just think that there's, my body's not the weirdest in there too. I always think about that. It might be now. Never mind. But okay, so the number two thing that made people uncomfortable was crying in front of a friend. But as you can imagine, in this case, it made men way more uncomfortable than women.
I could imagine that.
Would you be more, I guess you're comfortable being naked, so you'd probably be more uncomfortable crying in front of a friend, right?
I think that what I would be even more uncomfortable with is a friend crying in front of me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do if that happens. I don't know what to say. I have to stand in front of them and be like comforting.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is.
That wasn't listed here as one of the options, but that's so true.
I would rather be the one crying.
Yeah.
Than have to stand there and be like, it's okay. You don't have to cry.
Yeah.
Like the first time you cried in the studio after I roasted you, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, you'd think after it's happened so many times, you would eventually just become used to it.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. Next up was having to share a bed with someone of the same gender. Yet again, men way more uncomfortable with that than women.
I don't get that, but
me neither. You
I
never
don't mind
had
that at all.
sleepovers or whatever as a kid?
Yeah, me and my friends
I
growing up.
struggle to think of the situation now as an adult where that would come up, but for men, 42% uncomfortable with that, where just 21% of women. Let's see. Also, we have saying I love you to a friend of the same gender, which once again, shockingly, men way more uncomfortable with that, 45% versus only 17% of women. And this is the funny one to me. Would you be uncomfortable applying sunscreen to your friend's back?
No. I do that like every weekend.
You do that for me?
I do that for you, yeah. I do it every weekend for my friends when we go to the pool.
When I'm looking down the list, that might be the top one that feels weird to me, even though, like, if you asked, I guess I would. It would just feel weird. But 42% of men uncomfortable with that, just 10% of women.
Yeah, that doesn't feel weird to me at all. I do that literally, I do that every Saturday. So that isn't weird for me.
You just gotten used to it, I guess.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.